All right, I think I figured it out. All right, so let me know if you can hear me or see me now. That was one part I'm missing. This is the first time. Tiffany, let me take over. So let me know if you can hear me and see me now. It says that we are good to go. I'm waiting on updated comments before we start rocking and rolling. Yes, I see yes. Okay. Turns out you have to click the add button, add to streaming live. Okay. I'm an educator. I'm not a tech person, but StreamYard is pretty easy. I'm excited to be here tonight. Tiffany, let me take over. What? I automatically thought of the song, We're Taking Over. Yep, taking over. Can't sing, but I'm taking over. All right, let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. I did have a few questions that kept popping up over and over and over again. By the way, this is a Q&A question on the course as well as a Q&A, so you can get a feel of how I teach. Although, if you have taken the Leverage Your Credit Challenge, the Leverage Your Home Buying Challenge, the Soar Your Credit Score class inside of Dream Builders, the Bankruptcy class, the Home Buying class, etc., inside of Dream Builders as well, you should already know how I get down. I'm very thorough. And I'm an overgiver. So I wanted you guys to, A, for those of you who weren't able to join, to be able to receive feedback. B, for those of you who aren't familiar with me personally, to know how my style of teaching, to see if it's rocking and rolling for you. And C, to make sure that you are in the class, even though it's only, actually let me see, Monday through Friday. Actually, it's 14 days. So 1 week of live access and action and daily lives, and the following week of all access. So you can go in there, and I also have, I just added another live. So we're going to have a live by a realtor because I think that's important. And so many of you mentioned that you had a desire for home ownership. And I am also bringing on a mortgage loan officer who specializes in FHA. The reason why I chose FHA, A, is easier, with the exception if you're a veteran, and B, because they made some great changes, especially for those of you with student loans. I don't know if you've heard and know all of the in and outs, but some of you had questions on that. So I think having the Q&A from both parties will allow you to get a well-rounded view of what you need to do specifically to get home ready, or as like I say with my community, my prosperity partners, to claim those keys. So one of the questions that I got beforehand is, if I'm already in the mid 700s or above, could I benefit from this class? So I wanted to address 3 questions before we got into Q&A. So make sure you go ahead and put the Q&A and start now, okay? So I can scroll up and actually see them. All right. If you are in the mid 700s and you got some things that you need to start removing from your credit, then yes, I have personal clients in our credit dispute services program who are in the 700s, mid 700s, and still have some negatives that they need to tackle, and who also are benefiting from the credit coaching side. And we're going to tackle that when we go into our rebuilding phase or rebuilding conversation. So really depends on what is on your credit, and only you are aware of that. Actually, instead of my name up here, I'm actually going to show the banner just so you guys can see that and get enrolled. So only you know what's on your credit, right? Because some of us are in the mid 700s and we're there because of authorized user accounts or because we pay our bills on time and there's still some negative stuff on there. But if you are gravy, meaning that you don't really have any negatives, or they're super old and you have years of timely payments, or maybe the only reason you're in the 700s is because of utilization, or you're in the gardening phase. Have you guys heard of the gardening phase? That I stayed there for a long time, especially when I got to the mid 700s on the bankruptcy profile. But that's essentially where, on your specific scoring card, for those of you who are already enrolled, we cover this on day 1, FICO scoring cards. On your specific scoring card, you can only go that high. And so you will have to keep doing all the good stuff that took you to get to 700, maybe bringing your utilization down a little bit until you get over to the next level, which is fine. You just keep on gardening, and then I want you to start working on crushing your goals. Once people start getting into like 750 above, I'm like, okay, what we crushing? What Goal Crushers Credit Coach? What are we trying to accomplish now? What are your goals? Is it a business? Is it a home? Is it an investment property? What is it? Because that's what I want us to start working on after the credit situation is on point. Okay. And the next question that I got before class is, can I take this class if I don't have a Facebook account? Everything right now is stored on Facebook. I got this a lot from Tiffany's YouTube community. I get this a lot when I used to host classes too. I just have people that are not rocking with Facebook. So what I am thinking about doing is, once everything is over, is uploading a class onto my personal platform so that you can get the whole replay, and then maybe do, have my team come on and do like a designated live stream with you guys a couple of times. All I would say is maybe get on my email list. You can do that. There's like a free credit repair manual that I created for dream catchers. You can go to let me type this in, lrc.thefrugalcreditnista.com. If somebody, I'm about to type in, if somebody can keep putting that in there, and then get on my email list, and I'll announce it to my email community when I add it to my site. I think it just posted. So that's the question for that. But right now, everything is inside of the Facebook community for this class. Would this apply if I lived in Canada? Canada and American credit systems are only slightly different, but there are variances. So I would think twice about it. If you have more specific questions, then I would perhaps send me an email to support. Well, not me, my team at email, and be honest with you guys. Natilva@thefrugalcreditnista.com, Natilva@thefrugalcreditnista.com. And then, we can kind of be more specific on what the differences are and all of that good stuff. All right, we are rocking for Q&A. We are rocking for Q&A. And one of the questions that I am seeing here is from Crystal. Crystal says, I do not want to sell my home, but with the market being a seller's market right now, I am wondering if I should sell to help my credit. Crystal, let me know how this home is impacting your credit, because usually when people buy a home, it may, depending on your credit, drop it a little bit initially, and then it's going to shoot off. Like, it's a really good thing when you add a mortgage to your credit. So why do you think it's hurting your credit? Kind of give me some information to know what's going on. Yes, Selena, I will be offering information on bankruptcy. I can actually give you the specific day. If you guys go to the link that's up there, the Ultimate Credit Repair Masterclass, when you sign up, the whole schedule is right there. And I am going to be going over all of that. So the one for bankruptcy is very specific. I give you, remember I said I'm giving you dispute letter templates and everything, all of that. So I'm actually telling you how to tweak the dispute letters, because when you're using templates, you don't want to always use them verbatim. You want to start off, sounding like a real authentic person, and then hit them with the accounts and what's wrong and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to tell you how to pinpoint errors. I'm going to tell you what you do first before you even send your dispute letter. I'm going to teach you what agencies that you're going to want to tackle first, how to dispute it off of LexisNexis and things of that sort. So we're going to go over that in detail. I did say I was going to tell you the day. I'm trying to find a schedule, but it's taking forever to load up, and I'm scared that it's going to kick me off here. If I keep doing it, it's going to kick me off the StreamYard. Then you guys are going to really, really, really be upset with me. So let me see if it'll pull up here, and I can let you know what day I'm going to go over it. Okay, we're going to go over it on day number 3. Day number 3, we're going to break down public records, which for now, the only thing that's reporting on it are bankruptcy. So we're going to go over that in day number 3. But the information that I go over in days number 1 and 2, you're going to want to do that before you even go to the bankruptcy. So you're going to need days number 1 and 2 before you even tackle the bankruptcy. I'm in 800s. Do I need the course? Lori, if you don't have anything negative going on, you do not need the course. You would more than likely benefit for some of that wealth building that I mentioned for the other dream catcher or dream builder that was in the 750. So the same answer would apply for you. I've been stuck in the low 720s for 2 years. That's different. Do you know why, Denisha? I mean, that's why we spend 2 days learning how to break down reports, because it shouldn't just be, I'm stuck. It should be, I'm stuck here and why. Because you can rock out in the 700s for a while, like I did. And like I went to like 718, then I kind of got stuck between like 740s and 50s. And I didn't move for a little bit. Then I went, a couple of years, I went to like the 780s. And it took me 4 years to get to the 800s. And so I was very honest with you the last time. I'm very transparent with you now on what it took to get there. But I also was on the bankruptcy scorecard on one of my reports. And I still had a late payments reporting on the other 2 for my student loans. So that's what was preventing me. As soon as that stuff dropped, shot right up. How do you stop the same debt from reporting or renewing? It's not renewing. From renewing every month. It's not renewing. They are updating the reporting every single month, and that is legal. So whether it's a charge off, whether it's a collection report, they have the legal right to every month update that report. So what you want to do is see if you can find a negative to get it removed, or do I sound funny? Oh, let me change my headphones. I'm glad somebody told me. Let me change my headphones. You guys could have let me know. You guys could have let me know I sounded muffled. Let me know if this is better. Let me know if this is better. But yeah, I would do that. I think something happened to the sound. There's feedback sound as well. Okay, perfect. Thank you, thank you. You guys were telling me the what you call it was just delayed. Let me know if I need to repeat that for you. Let me know if I need to repeat that for you. But if it's stuck, you want to break down and see why. And Serena, you said, how do you stop it from reporting every month? Like I said, you either got to get removed, you got to settle it, do a payment deletion or something to that effect. My score is 761. I have no other debt other than a mortgage. I'm single. How do I move it to 800? If you're at 761, you may be in something called the gardening stage. Moving it to the 800s, the 800 may be your coveted score, but you got to remember 760 is where things happen at. And in some things, what you're applying for, there's no difference between 760 and 800, other than, you know, oh, I'm in the 800 club, which is great, but I don't want that to be your defining moment. But one of the things you said, you only have a mortgage, you have no other debt. Lori, if you don't have some type of credit card reporting, because credit cards are boss. We're going to discuss rebuilding strategies on day number, actually all throughout, but specifically on days number 5 and 3, 5, 3, and 4, actually. We're going to discuss rebuilding strategies. And that's because if you don't have credit and have it reporting in a certain way and having balances a certain way, then you are not going to have it move once you get to a certain point. 761 is great for period. It's just great, especially if you don't have that much credit cards or anything like that reporting. So it's great. What time are we starting class on Monday, Jacqueline? So remember when class opens on Monday, by 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to have the lesson, the video lesson, and any downloadables, whether that's an action guide, whether that's dispute letters, whether that is your assignment, all that is going to be downloadable in the morning. And the reason why I'm doing that is because whether you wake up in the morning or whether you do it on your lunch hour, by the time we meet that evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the evening, I want your questions to be ready. I'm going to list a post specifically for your questions, and we're going to be spending a minimum of 60 minutes tackling your questions and specifically staying on the first 2 days, breaking down those reports. Most of these questions, how do I get to this level? I need to know what's going on with your reports, even to see how you get to that level. And those of you who are already in the group, you should have already clicked on that 5-day, I broke it down, a 5-part video series that's doing a video walkthrough teaching you how to break down each section of your report and pinpoint errors. Already start taking that. So therefore, when we get to days number 1 and 2, where we're breaking your reports down further, you already have a general idea of what's going on, and you should be coming to the live class on Monday saying, okay, I got this far, but I'm stuck here. I got this far, but I don't know what to do here. Now I have somewhere to direct you. Now I can say, okay, well, here's a link. Pop up live on class with me, and let's do a walkthrough of your reports. Even though we'll be live with it, I'm going to be a video with everybody. So first come, first serve. But even though we'll be live with everyone, we will be, so I'll be helping you, but teaching everyone else as I'm doing it. So hopefully that makes sense. How do I need to do, what do I need to do? How do you sign up? You sign up by visiting theultimatecreditmasterclass.com, theultimatecreditmasterclass.com. All right, is my audio okay still? Is my audio still not okay? All right, guys. It's the ringing. That's the webcam. Can you give me my other webcam? All right, I'm about to change webcams because I'm getting a ringing, you guys are saying. Uh-oh. All right, it's trying to adjust, you guys. Give my little webcam some space here. Oh, wow, this one, the lighting is funny. All right, that just means I need to stay a couple of extra minutes on with you guys, and since I'm having all these technical difficulties. Tiffany gonna be like, girl, get off. Okay, I want to make sure you guys catch this knowledge. All right, I don't know why this one is so bright. We're gonna take this one off. Oh, perfect. That was perfect. Is everything cool? You guys can hear me and see me better? Let me know. Let me know. Everything's good? We good now? Thank you. I have to change the webcam. I am so sorry. So we're good. Good. All right. So I apologize. I changed everything out. We should be good to go. And it's high Pierce. So if anybody left, do a tag, share the post, bring them back. Let's rock it out for the next few minutes or so. I want to make sure I get to the questions that were gone. You guys said this pitch was horrible. I apologize. I had no idea, and your comments coming later. So make sure you tag and bring them back in. Let them know that we are back. I just came out of bankruptcy and my score is 645. Should I take the course? Your score is good. The real question is, after bankruptcy, are all of the accounts reporting properly? Number one. Number two, you want to know if all of the reports are reporting properly, as they should be after the bankruptcy. You also want to know, are there any errors reporting or anything else? How are you managing your proper open accounts? Meaning any positive open accounts that you have, how are those reporting? Meaning, are you over the limit? Are you close to the limit? Are you keeping those balances super low? That is extremely important with you being on the bankruptcy profile. Now, whether you should take the course is whether you need help with that or not. If you kind of know how to figure that out yourself, great. If you don't, then yes, I would take the course. Let me know if the ringing sound is gone. I still see a few comments and I don't know. Everything's good. Okay, I was going to say, I don't know if that's old comments or what. I am so sorry. I had no idea. And, you know, bring people back if they're gone. So go ahead and share so we can get this knowledge. It is still a good idea to do a pay to delete for a collection on your credit. Absolutely. I literally just inside of the group just posted a whole list that I have that are currently doing pay to deletes, either as a part of their regular business model, or they just offer it and you have to negotiate it from jump. So I would definitely, yeah, that's to answer your question. It is real, live, good, well. I have been doing it since I personally was coming out of bankruptcy, before I went into bankruptcy, in order to try to just eliminate as much stuff as possible. I actively do it in my credit services business now. So yeah. All right, so it's something, I'm just getting the ringing sound now. I wish I would have heard it beforehand. I am so sorry. But I'm glad that everything's great. The audio's on point. We can get back to it. Just keep sharing it out. Let them know we are good now. So I apologize. I don't know what was going on with my webcam, but I'm glad we all good now. So thank you guys so much for letting me know. And that, you know, we can get back now. All right, well, class go over how to negotiate judgments. Not really specifically judgments. I mean, when you're negotiating a judgment, you're either working with the attorney or you are working with the company directly. And honestly, I found it's sometimes good to work directly with the company because the attorneys can be something else and a real stickler. So it really depends and on who the judgments are. But I would make an offer. The most they can say is no, especially if they haven't started any wage garnishments or anything like that, Carmen. And I would also consider, well, if they haven't started wage garnishments, so I would do a lump sum payment. To me, those are the best than saying, hey, I can pay you this amount and you can, you know, settle in full for like a year. Like, no, lump sum payments work best, especially when you got judgments. Thank you guys for letting me know. It's much better. I wish I would have saw your comments earlier. The comments are a little bit delayed. I promise I would have changed that webcam out right away. So thank you so much. Is there much room for one-on-one in the class? There is no one-on-one in the class. This is a group class. So Ask your questions, attend the lives. I always answer the ones that are pre-posted first. Like I said, in the group, I have Q&As for tonight's live at 8 o'clock. Put your questions in there, because that way, if you ask anything that I might need to do a little research for, get a little bit more information from you before we go live, I can do that beforehand. But if you just coming up to the live and asking questions, then I can't guarantee that you're going to get your question answered. My credit is under 600. My house is, why did your question go away? My house is a great asset. I'm paying my mortgage. I have 2 loans, car payments, and credit cards and other bills. If I sell the house, this is Crystal, I can pay things off but rent. Then I would keep your house. I would not let the sale of your house and credit cards have an impact. So this, when I talk to people in my community, and once you join a class, you will now be a part of my community, we need to start working out different methods of leveraging your skills to make some more money. When we have debt and we try to use the money that's coming into our household, it's difficult to get ahead. So there always has to be, how can I increase my income by 1%, 2% of my total income month over month, meaning add it to it, so that if you started in January, by December, you have a 12% that you've gathered side hustles or extra income from some kind of resources. When I have people in my community, we are looking at, okay, what are your skills? Should we start a VA business? Should we start a notary business? Should we do another type of side hustles like Uber or Lyft or something like that? When you are actively trying to pay off debt, it has to be money coming from something else. It can't just come from your 9 to 5. 9 to 5 in most cases will not be enough. So yes, you're gonna still follow the same, setting up a solid budget, doing some cutbacks. Cutbacks will only cut so far. It's gotta be I need to make some more money, and make it a concerted effort to do so aggressively, Crystal. So that would be my question to that. So this class will be more in general class, or will there be individualized assistance? This will be a class, but if you haven't had a class with me, this is not me just giving you information and saying, good luck. No, if I'm answering your questions like this, then of course, more so it's going to be in the class. So I'm not sure what you mean by general class. Maybe you can elaborate, let me know. So I'm not sure. I'm not just giving you, here's your lesson, bye, have fun, that's your class. No, it's not like that. It's us interacting like this so that we can make sure you get the help that you need. Okay, Sarah, I did answer your question on how you can answer a question when you work at the time of the live. Just pre-submit it, watch the live at your convenience, and you should have, just make sure you post your question under the live. I tackle them all as long as they're done between 2 hours before I go live. I want to try to get my APR monthly payments on my cards lower. Is that part of the dispute letter process, or should I call the credit card company? Megan, you should be calling and negotiating with the credit card company as long as you're paying on time. I've been a good paying client, and remember, they don't just look at what you're doing on your card. They are also looking at how you are paying your other accounts as well. When we talk about inquiries, remember there's the ones where you're applying for credit, and then there's the ones where you're doing a soft pull, or we're pulling it ourselves. And then there's the ones where companies that we are already doing business with goes in and scours through our reports to see our risk level. Different reason. What is going on with Megan? Can I offer her another product? Should I be pulling back? Right now, companies are doing assessing risk big time, and some of us have been impacted when it comes to accounts being closed or credit card limits lowered. So if you're all good across the board, then that's when it's time to start negotiating. I have had some incredible offers during this time period. For the first time, like ever, I got my credit card under like 9%, which is like kind of unheard of. Like they'll do specials 0%, blah, 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 blah. But for that type of credit card that I'm talking about, under 9% is pretty solid. So when they offered me, you know, a little under 7%, I was like, especially coming from when I couldn't get anything under 24 point something. So good credit, okay? How long does the bankruptcy stay on your credit report? Tam says 10 years from filing for a chapter 7, and then for a chapter 13, you're talking 7. All right. Oh, you're doing Airbnb. Okay, Crystal. That's good stuff. It's a good investment property. I'm excited about I am excited about having you in class. Once you receive results after how many sessions of disputing? That is going to vary. I literally have some clients the first month, gravy, right? It just goes so well. And then some clients, oh man, because we all have different creditors on our reports and everything, and different times in which the negatives happen. So some clients, it's like 9 months before we really see that jump. And then it also depends on how you're managing your credit cards and other payments. That's why we have, or for me personally in our services, we match the disputing with the credit coaching, because you need both. Because if we're disputing and then you messing up on the paying stuff and raising limit side, is clashing. We need everything to work together. Okay, and that's one of the things I'm going to teach you in the class, and that's going to be congruently taught from days 1 to 5. Oh, you see a heart? Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Carmen. Barnett, thank you so much for your patience with me and your sweet words after the sound. Will you go over how to negotiate with creditors? I don't go in depth, but I will upload a sheet. So if you want one of our lives to be that, since I'm getting the questions a lot, then we can go over how to negotiate with creditors. Because honestly, before I pick up that phone, I'm like, how much can you settle for? What is your, because I like everything lump sum. I don't like payments. And if it is payments, I like them to be like about 3. Usually if it's like more than 90 days, then the amount that you can pay it for tends to increase. If I'm giving something, if we're offering lump sum, gravy. We can get like the lowest amount. It does take a little bit of negotiating sometimes. If they're offering a deletion for that settlement, then we might have to pay a little bit more, unless if it's already a part of their business model. So if it's already part of the business model, then lump sums work best. All right. Stephanie, to pull your credit scores, so you signed up for class and you're saying that you pulled your credit scores from the recommended places that we use. And yes, it will be a subscription. So it doesn't matter where you go, it's going to be a subscription. You don't have to pay the subscription, cancel. After you get it that first time, I mean, the class is, 1 week access, and then, 1 week live, and then 1 week access, that's 2 weeks. And the report lasts you for 30 days. So you can just cancel if you don't feel like you want to keep that particular subscription, and then rock out with your free subscription. So that's totally fine. So I don't want you to keep the subscription if that's something that you don't want. Let me see. So I see we got a spammer. So Tony, I don't know how to, can I block you? Yes, I can. Like, stop that. All right, my credit score is at 580. What is the ideal credit score goal when I need to refinance? Oh, you need it to be higher than that, especially during the pandemic. You definitely want it to be higher than that. Okay, I don't know what your name, finance channel is, but I mean, when a mortgage person goes live, she also specializes in refinancing. That's definitely something you want to question her about if you're in my class. But I can tell you off jump, the higher, the better. There are some that still kind of work with the lower tier. I would say 640 and up. I've had very few, but some make it in that 620 mark and up. Not many. I'm gonna be real with you, not many. But most are liking that 680 situation. But it really varies on the type of lender that you're working with. When is it a good time to close a card? You have no intention of using it again once it is paid off. Sarah, that is a great question. I actually have a great article on that, and I give you examples as well. But just to let you know, before you close anything, you want to run the calculations, because when you close a card, you shorten the overall or total credit limit. So you want to look at your total credit card usage, and you want to calculate that card with it. Then you want to take that card away to see how your overall utilization will change, because utilization on each individual card and utilization on all of our cards total are a huge factor in the amount owed category. You guys are going to learn all about this in day number 1. The amount owed category is up to 165 points, and credit cards dominate that area. So you don't want to mess around. So you may be, well, I'm not really using it, but if you have balances on other cards, you want to try to bring all of them down before you even rock out and get rid of that card and do those calculations beforehand. So if you're in class, I'll teach you how to do that. I filed bankruptcy about 5 years ago, and I know that it stays on there for 10 years, not 7. What is the best way to handle collection accounts? Can you settle them? Absolutely. I would dispute them first, though. I always dispute. We cover collections. Cover that on day number 4. I cover when to dispute them, when to settle them, when to ignore them. So we go over all of those because most of you guys are talking about settlements beforehand. That was the first. Now I'm getting how to get them removed, all of that good stuff. That's going to be in day number 4. And I'm actually going to give you guys a cheat sheet. If you're in class, remind me. If I say I'm going to give you a cheat sheet and I don't have nothing to write down, I'm relying on you guys to remind me. So post something under a group or something and let me know. There's already a breakdown in the guide section of the group on what day I'm going to cover what. So go on to day number 4, post on that. Nativa, do not forget to post, what I said I was going to post. So I'm looking for you guys to do that. Let me see. I paid off collection with settlements that they offered anyway. Can they be removed? If you didn't negotiate beforehand, more than likely they will not be removed. There are some companies, like I believe it's Portfolio, as a part of their regular business practice, they will delete it. And if it's not a part of the collection agency's regular business practice, then you want to negotiate that beforehand. And not all collection agencies will do it. But I will say that one of the things we're going to learn is in day number 1, when FICO goes in and it looks at payment history, it's looking at the negative accounts that you have. So let me see who am I talking to. So Astacia. Astacia has a collection. Next it looks at, does this collection have a balance? If it's no balance, meaning that it's been paid, whether it's paid in full or settled, it's going to be scored a little better than if you have a negative collection with a balance. So there's that, but you would have wanted to negotiate that beforehand. Let me see. Can student loans ever be removed? Yes, they can. Do you want them to be removed? That's the key. Kelly Graham, what is a good, that's because of the age, by the way. Like my student loans are the oldest things on my account. What is a good site to look up, monitor your score? There are several. There's my FICO, there is Identity IQ, there is my Score IQ, there's so many. So there's no, all of them have their little limitations, but those are the ones that I work with. Is it possible to get a score from 681 to 750 and 775 in 11 months? Depending on what's going on and what scoring card that you're on. We're going to discuss scoring cards on day number 1. I always say you can't soar what you don't understand. You got to understand your report and you got to understand FICO score. That's why we spend 2 days. 2 days going over this. If you're in the class, you're going to see day number 1, how to master and sort your FICO scores. We're rocking all of that out. Day number 2, how to create a custom credit strategy to sort your credit scores. That's breaking down your reports even more. You got an action guide with your homework, breaking it down, most common areas you're going to find, all of that good stuff. So all of that is going to be covered on the first 2 days of class. By the way, the link, ultimatecreditmasterclass.com, is right below. ultimatecreditmasterclass.com. Okay, I lost some things. This is, y'all must be commenting too fast because I lost some comments. I'm only going a little bit longer, Unicorn Squad, because I had that horrible screeching sound at the beginning of the class, and I want to be able to make sure I serve the folks who are here and had to bear through that. So I'm sorry if I'm going over, but I felt bad because I didn't get the notification that the screeching sound was there until well after some folks was like, what in the heck? So thank you guys for your patience again. All right, let's work out. Is there a way to reopen credit cards that were closed more than 4 years ago? No, Joy. You're going to want to have to reapply and make sure you apply to the ones that match your current credit and credit scoring situation. You don't want no denials. You want an inquiry and an approval. If you're going to get that hard inquiry, you want the approval, not the denial. Let me see. How do I get my scores? All right. So you guys got a lot of FICO's questions. All right. Tony, I thought I deleted you. Okay. I'm going to block you again. My word. Oh, thank you, Logan. I look forward to having you. Okay. I lost some questions. So let me go up. How long does home loan charge-off stay on your report? So a charge-off period stays on 7 years from the first date of delinquency. Do you guys know what the first dates of delinquency is? Okay, got a couple of those. So the first date of delinquency is the first date that you were past due delinquent and you never brought the account current again. So if you have, let's say you were 90 days late, right? Which is like the worst late you could be. You're 90 days late, okay? So you're 90 days late, you paid a payment, now you're 60 days late. Then the next month coming, you're back at 90 days late. You make another payment, you're 60 days late. You keep making a payment, maybe get to 30 days late, but you never get to current. It's going to go back to the very first date that you were late because you never brought the account current again, and it's 7 years from that date. Yes, we're going to break this down in class because I know that can be a bit confusing, but I am going to be doing hot seats, and we're going to be pulling examples from your actual reports to better teach and make it make sense to you guys. My credit score is 68. I'm not starting from scratch. Ms. Abdullah, this is really going to depend on what's going on with your unique report. Because when I was at 681, I mean, I had filed bankruptcy, so I still had a few things on there that I still was able to get removed in order to get to that 700 mark. So it really depends on what else. So it's not the score that determines if this class would help, it's the data. So I don't want you guys to look at your score and think that's the determining factor. As I mentioned, I had people, you know, in the 300s and people in the 700s who signed up for services and needed services. You have to go through a pre-approval to get to our services. Same with classes. I've had people 300s, people in the 700s because their data needed help in order to get to that next level. And sometimes the data needs help and you still gonna be in the 700s, right? Because you're still on a certain scoring card, a FICO scoring card. A scoring card is what FICO uses to categorize people based on their credit behaviors. And then they still score all of their data based on the 5 factors: payment history, amount owed, length of age, credit mix, inquiries, etc. And so, for example, I was on the bankruptcy scoring card. I can only get so high on that card. So it wasn't even until I got off that card and onto another one that my score can increase. So sometimes it's not a matter of getting off the card, it's getting to the highest level on that scoring card. And we'll talk more about that on day number 1. A timeshare, Deborah asked, can you remove them? You can remove, a timeshare isn't viewed as a mortgage. It's viewed, a past due timeshare or timeshare foreclosure is kind of viewed as like a charged off account. So it's not viewed as like a regular 15, 30 year, etc. mortgage. So if there's an error and you're talking about misrepresentation, if it's misrepresentation, then you need to report them. Start with your state attorney general's office. You can go to the CFPB and a few other places that you can report them as well if there's misrepresentation. ASCO, the lesson, the video lesson. The question is, does a live class start at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m.? The text sent stated 8 a.m. Thanks. I just went over this. I'll go over it again. It will be posted. The video lesson and any downloadables are posted by 8 o'clock every single day for 5 days. We unpack it, answer your questions, 8 o'clock live. So you have your video lesson, any downloadables, 8 o'clock in the morning. We go live as a group, our group coaching session, live Q&A, etc., 8 o'clock in the evening, and that is Eastern Standard Time. Let me see. Will a Zoom link be sent for the masterclass? I usually post it inside of the Facebook group, okay? So what that means is that when I go live, I'll pass it to the group, and that way you can just be inside the group to have it. Does anyone, okay, answered that question. And I answered the charge-off question, answered the bankruptcy question. All right, question on the class. Will I be covering charge-offs? Absolutely, we will be covering charge-offs on day number 5. We'll cover inquiries, late payments, charge-offs, and yes, dispute letter templates and action guides will be included with that lesson. So you're gonna have a video lesson on that. You're gonna have the action guides, dispute letter templates, and then I'm gonna go live and we're gonna answer more questions on it. Please watch the class before you come live because it just makes us be more on one page and you can ask more personalized questions instead of what's already been covered in the video, okay? Are the recommended companies to pull your credit scores that I gave for the class consumer scores or FICO? They are both. So the one that gave you my score, that is FICO. Identity IQ and free score are Vantage. Don't knock Vantage. Do not knock Vantage. As the mortgage person that's going to come on and doing the Q&A during the open access week will tell you, some lenders will do a comparison score, whether it's the car company, whether it's a mortgage company. And I even know in my community, somebody posted, oh my God, I'm buying a house, and they gave me a Vantage score and they were shocked. So FICO is king. I'll never knock that. However, Vantage is starting to be used a bit more as a comparison score, meaning to try to see which one will work best. I was just discharged from bankruptcy in March. My credit score is a 695. It's still hard getting approved for credit and loans. What cards do you recommend? 685 is great, multitasking diva. I would like to know what you already have, what you already been approved for, and then I can kind of get you better. Right now, if you're getting denials, it could be, please take this full. Remember the climate that we're in. You may be looking a little thirsty, and so people are a little nervous. When people are just filed bankruptcy in March, April, May, June, July, it's been 4 months, and then they're applying for multiple things and getting a denial, it don't look good. I will pause. I will let whatever you have that got you to 695 breathe. If you don't have anything, like any credit cards, then I would get with a sure thing. Those denials are not looking too good. Denials are easy to assess because you see the inquiry and you don't see an open account with it, right? So I gotta see what's going on with your request to really give you concrete info on that. Like I could just shoot out something, but that's not going to be fair to you. And I really dislike when people do that and be like, oh, why don't you try self-lender? Why don't you try credit score? Let's say, listen, we don't know what's going on with your credit, what type of accounts you already have on there, because some people have added, I actually got a video on this, have added, self-lender, and their scores dropped a little bit because they didn't need that many, they didn't need another installment loan on their account. They didn't need, another credit card on their account. They had too many inquiries within that time frame, and then they just, hit the pause button and it causes scores to dip. So I don't want to just lash a suggestion out there for you when I don't know what's going on with your account. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Is it a negative impact on your credit when you have several cards? No, it's a negative impact when you have several cards with balances. Every card does not need to have a balance. It should not have a balance. When we break down credit payment history on day number 1, I'm going to tell you exactly how FICO scores that payment history segment and why you don't want every single card to have a balance. It's not necessary. It shouldn't happen. It definitely should not be pushing over 30% on every card. I mentioned this when I was live with Tiffany on Wednesday. My community, 1 to 7%. The only time we go above that is when we're working on getting an increase. Okay, when you're working on getting an increase, because there is a denial reason code. Well, basically, it's like, well, you're not even using your credit now, so why should we give you an increase? That's the only time we may go a little above and then pay it off before it hits our credit. So that's another strategy that I'll teach you guys. But no, having just cards is not a bad impact. How do I remove a paid student loan that's reporting late? If it's paid, how is it reporting late? Are you talking about old late? If it's old, I mean, you have to weigh age to the effect of the late payment. You see what I'm saying? So, for example, I'll give you a report that we had in the last live that I did with my community. It was a 23-year student loan. It had some lates from like 3.5 years ago. Only 2, not bad, 3.5 years ago. But you're talking about a 23-year-old loan. When you touching that, you don't get out of here? No. So that's what I mean by, do you want to touch it? Okay. Is there a way to okay, open that one. Let me go down. Okay, listen. Now Robert coming in spamming stuff. I wish y'all would stop. Robert, come on now, honey, stop. Nobody's buying trade lines. Can you dispute LexisNexis reports? Yes, you can. I typically only do it for public records, and we are going to go over that in day number 3, and I'll give you the template in order to, so you can get an example of how to dispute it. When disputed, will you go over different dispute letters collections may send you? For instance, if you send a letter to verify information, but they don't really send you the verification, will you explain what the next steps would be? Yes, we spend quite a bit of time because that's like the #1 negative that most people are dealing with. We spend quite a bit of time on days number 3 and days number 4. So 3 is public records. With that, we're also going to cover a little bit on collections. Day number 4, we're going to talk about disputing, settling, and when to just completely ignore the collection. So we are going to break that down, Keisha. Victoria, you said you make 80K. I don't know what your previous question is to know why that's relevant. I am so sorry, Victoria, but I don't know. I don't know. You got to give me some more information with this, right? I came in late. How much is the class? $75. It will never be this investment again. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm going live every single day for 5 days for the dream catchers for Tiffany. I'm going to be real with you. For Tiffany. That is unheard of. Unheard of. The class plus lives. No, you're not getting this anywhere else. And y'all know it. That's why somebody asked me, you know, oh, you just giving me a generic class? Because that's how much a generic class costs. Honestly, the content that I'm giving you, a generic class will usually cost about $3.99, $4.99 to $3.99, okay? That's how much just the class will cost. But with just the class, the live coaching lessons and Q&A sessions, plus I'm bringing an expert in to help you guys who are looking to refinance and homeownership for $75, jump on it. It will not be this investment again, ever. Ever. I just wanted to stress that. I just want to stress that. This is the blessing. And I did see a comment and I missed it. It says, well, we're already in July and we're talking about crushing credit in 2021. Absolutely. How many more months are there in the year? I mean, if you can get the information to lay a good, solid start so that when 2022 of January comes, you already hitting the ball rolling. I mean, come on, we can accomplish a lot by December 31st. Don't sleep just because it's July. Absolutely. No, 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 no. Let me see. Yes, $75. And I hit the send button before answering my question. Okay, Victoria, I made good money. Why would my latest request for credit being denied state I have too much credit? Because you more than likely have too much credit. So when you have too much credit in a short amount of time, that basically means you have been doing too much in this small window and we don't want to take the risk with you right now. That means just pause. All you gotta do is pause. Don't apply for anything. Keep your balances super low, utilization overall super low, everything paid on time. And once you do that for a little bit, then go and start adding them, you know, not a whole bunch at a time. And make sure you're applying for stuff that matches your score level. For example, somebody up above was a 681. Probably wouldn't go for a Citibank or an American Express card at that point. There used to be like a one that you can do, but no, I wouldn't do it at that point. You may want to rock out with your Discover and your Capital One. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to go for that higher tier in that range. So make sure you're applying for stuff that matches where you are credit-wise, okay? Are they more than 1 hour long? Not the videos. The Q&As will be. I'm long-winded. Hello? Don't y'all see me now? I like to give very thorough answers. So the Q&As will more than likely be for longer than an hour. So yes, that's why you have that all access week. So if you're not able to be live with me for longer than an hour, I'm making sure I answer as many of your questions as possible. That's cool. You got a whole other week to go back and say, okay, I was able to rock out with her for like, you know, an hour and 6 minutes. Let me pick back up on this day at that time, right? What are the dates of the classes? We start Monday, Tanya. Monday. So Monday through Friday. And then we're having the realtor and mortgage loan officer come on Wednesday. The realtor's coming on for a lunch and learn. And then the mortgage loan officer's coming on later on in the evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You said my credit score is higher on Experian than Credit Sesame. How do they know which score to go by? That is a great question. It's whatever scoring model they decide to choose. That's it. And the same thing happens if you can go to 3 car lots on one strip, you go to each one. Let's say they all pull from Experian. They can all be pulling from different versions of Experian, or they can be using the exact same version but have customized FICO to better match their lending approval guidelines. I mean, FICO is a software. It can be customized to however the lender that's using it desires it to be. Furthermore, there are now over 70 different versions of FICO that's available. So it's whichever one they decide. That's why I want everybody listening now, whether you join the class or not, to focus on the data. That's why for the first 2 days of class, we are focusing on what? This is my class now. What are we focusing on, class? The data, okay? Because FICO scores don't exist. They don't exist until somebody, you, another lender, etc., pulls it. The bureaus are not hoarders of FICO scores. They collect data. They're a data repository. All they do is collect data. And it's not until you enter or a lender enters our information in that it now goes into that data and it says, okay, I'm looking for this name. This is her date of birth. These are the last 4 digits of her social. This is her address. And it gets all of that information and it brings it into an easier to read report. And then FICO goes in and then scores all of that data. And now you have a credit score. So this isn't, how do I get my credit score up? How do I get my data bombing up? So that no matter what scoring model that lender is using, I'm going to be on point every single time. That's the goal. Is that the goal, partners, prosperity partners, dream catchers? Is that the goal? That is the goal. That's why we spend 2 days going over the data, the data, the data. You want to be on point, whether it's the mortgage score, whether it's the FICO 8 score and it's a bank option score or a car lending score. You want to be on point on the newer FICO 9 and FICO 10 scores. And the only way to do that is to focus on the data. The what? The data. And when are we covering this? First 2 days of class. FICO scores and the data. All right. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Prasad. Look at you in here typing questions for me. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Keisha, for typing the link. Thank you so much. Oh, PG Ward, if you are looking for business credit, we won't cover that in this class, but you have your EIN. That's great. That's a totally different class. You have to message me. Do you see my name? Somebody can type my name in there and message me separately to kind of get you some assistance with that. Yes, iWeaver, the data, the data, the data. I love this. The data, the data, the data. I'm saying my credit report from Equifax. Is that okay? Absolutely not. You have 3 bureaus. I love you, sweetie, but no, we want to, that's why I gave you guys just suggestions. But my main thing was for you to pull reports and scores with the credit monitoring service, because it is, I'm going to teach you how to look across and look for inconsistencies and errors and all of that good stuff. But you can pull all 3 from annualcreditreport.com. Those are some seriously long reports and some seriously detailed reports, especially if you want to, you know, fact check some of the credit monitoring ones and if you want to dig a little deeper, but it's not going to give you your scores. So that's why I gave you 3 suggestions for class for you and anybody else that's just joined. But just make sure whichever one you use, it has all 3 bureaus with all 3 scores. That is the goal. Okay, Toya, I will see you in class. All right, you guys, I think I got everything. I'm excited. Like, this was just a preview of what we are going to crush starting Monday. And I mean, the lesson, 8 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. is the goal. When I say, what are your questions? The first thing I'm going to say, did you take the class? And I want everybody to say yes. Don't ask me no questions. You didn't take the class. If you didn't look at that, don't ask me questions yet. I'm going to say we're covering FICO today in the beginning steps of breaking down your reports. I at least want you to attempt to do it. If you're joining today, if you have, let me see, it's different. Those of you on the West Coast may be cool. Central is about 8 o'clock. Eastern, it's almost 9. So I'll give you guys a little break, but go into the group tomorrow. Go to guide number 2. There are 5 links there to videos. Just take a link at a time. If you can do 1 or 2 and start breaking down your reports, so when we connect on Monday, the very next day, we are getting it in. We are getting it in. So I want, when we meet live, I want you to have your reports in front of you. I want you to have looked at the video. I want you to have a solid foundation of FICO. And if you don't, if you have questions, post it there, because I'm starting from the first question all the way down. If you ask questions while I am live, hopefully I can get to it, but I'm going to start from the earlier ones first. Somebody asked if we have questions and we asked, okay, because of your work schedule. You know what? I'm very giving. The last time I did a class, you know, I did do an extra Q&A, and I'm not opposed to that. I might not be doing the Q&A when my super talented bond certified team members might be doing it at another time. I'm totally open to that to make sure that you have what you need in order to crush it. No, Cindy, do not touch your 401k if you are retiring in 2023 for the simple fact that you will lose all of that yummy compounding interest in your retirement, honey. No. And I know you want to be out of that, like, I don't want any debt when I retire, but I mean, you only owe $100,000, and refinancing is great right now. I don't know if that's an option for you. But no, you want all it. I mean, since it's so close, it's so close. No, you don't want to lose on that 100,000. Absolutely not. You want to keep that money in there, honey. No retirement withdrawal allowed. Okay, okay, honey. None, Cindy. None, none, none. I think I got everybody. Is race a factor in credit scoring? Oh, the woman, the woman. I have so much to say on this. I'm gonna have to say it in class. I have that on my channel, okay? I usually don't do lives. I'm on Tiffany's channel. I have so much to say. I'm gonna be respectful to Tiffany. To answer the question, no, it's not considered. However, we can all say that it is kind of subtly built into approval guidelines, right? So, but no, as an overall spectrum, it's not included. All right, guys. I will see you guys on Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's about to go down. I get excited when I talk about this because I love putting credit in the proper perspective, right? Especially in lower income, lower middle income, even middle income, and the minority African American community as well. Of course, it's minority, right? The minority community, right? Credit isn't put in the right perspective. Number one, you have articles that are saying, there's a struggle to get savings up, and most people can't make it without 2 paychecks, and let's throw credit in their face. No, we ain't falling for that trap. Absolutely not. Then you have, okay, my credit score, and it's like, okay, well, number one, can we start focusing on not just the score, but the what? The data. And can we also focus on our financial habits so that we're actually purchasing and buying where we live, right? And can we start focusing on assets? And can we start investing? And can we start owning the stores, the restaurants, the homes, etc., in our neighborhoods? Can we start passing on? We talk about generational wealth or not, but really being clear what that looks like and what we can pass on. Because as of right now, we may not be able to pass on, maybe at the age where I just got to take care of me. And that's cool. But you can pass on the knowledge that you're learning. You can pass on so they don't make the same credit mistakes that we make. They don't make the same money managing mistakes that we make. They know what to save and what percentage. So pass on that knowledge. So at least they're not starting from ground zero, right? So know what generational wealth looks like and what you're actually going to pass on to the next generation, and putting credit in the proper perspective so it's a piece of that overall pie and not the main thing that we're focusing on. Okay. All right. I will see you guys in class Monday, 8 o'clock. Oh, hey, Tara. Oh my God, I've seen you so long. Hey, but I'll see you Monday at 8 o'clock. And I'm excited to have you guys there. Enjoy the rest of your evening and weekend. See you Monday. Bye.